You know, on the day when I'm leaving, I think I find myself looking back to other times, other first days, to see what it was like, how I felt. I'm on the train, and still, I don't fully believe that it's happening. I'm looking at England, this image of my home, aware that I'm not going to see it for a while. And maybe I feel little drips of nerves, but for the most part I think I feel nothing. And I still don't really believe that I'm going to get on the plane and I'm going to get there and begin this thing and finish this thing and somehow come home again. I think every time it's different. A bit like acid. Yeah, it doesn't really feel real. And then all of a sudden, you're gone. It's the smell I notice. Spicy or something. I recognise it, and that's when I know that I've left. I notice how people carry themselves like there's no strangers. And I love the difference. Maybe I just needed to live a little sideways for a while, out of the lines I draw myself at home.
There we go, ready to start. Huh? Right, record. Yes. There she goes. Alright, that's a turn. What about? Yes! Professional filmmaker. Okay, bring it home. Land, how do you land? Hey! Booyakasha! Professional filmmaker.
So I've got less than a month till I start walking down the Ganges, up the Ganges. It's a strange one because Arambol here, which I've been to 4 times, and it's not just Arambol, there's a lot of places in the world, a lot of places in India that I get stuck at. So it's dangerous really. I'm at the most relaxed place in the world before I'm about to go and do the most unrelaxing thing you could do in the world, walking the Ganga. Now, I probably said before, I did have this idea a long time ago, was very excited by it. Some time passed, came to the conclusion that it wasn't for me, but it was a good idea. Someone else who wanted a journey should do it. Some more time passed and I thought, sort of out of nowhere, it suddenly just popped out. It just popped out that it was the right thing to do. Now, I've had a lot of time to think about this now, and also now getting stuck in Arambol. Now, I believe that I do truly want to do this trip, but wanting to do something that in so many ways you don't enjoy is a strange feeling, it's a strange pursuit. I don't really want to walk down Indian highways. I don't really want to be, on paper this trip, doing this is not fun. So why would you want to do it? There must be a good reason why I keep coming back to India and want to do this walk. There must be a good enough reason why I keep doing it. But you can almost talk yourself out of it. And honestly, sitting in Arambol, I could just sit here, spend all my money and then go home. But I'll be back at square one. I want this journey as part of my life. I just kind of wish I'd already done the journey. I know I can do it, but I don't know if I'm going to. It's 1,500 miles, and it's not so much the miles of walking, it's what's in the miles. I'm not much of an early bird, but in Goa, in Arambol, I'm an early bird. I feel like I get a nod off other early risers, at least the people who have to go to work. To wake up slow is a blessing. I reckon this is how retirement feels. Retirement with working hips. Now I can't help it, I'm an Englishman. I complain about the cold, but I don't do so well in the heat. On the first days in Arambol, I'm the sweatiest guy in the room. Someone once passed me a hanky on the dance floor. Other sweaty men nod at me. And the deli belly, I have to mention the deli belly. Like an old mate I know well but don't like, and yet we live together sometimes. On this trip I broke a personal record. I got sick off the plane food. I hadn't even friggin' landed yet. Arambol's not a town for everyone, but everybody is welcome. In one moment you could speak to a friendly man on meth and then turn to a beautiful Russian yogi. You know, I can't remember when I lost track of days. I was prepared for this, but to be honest I think I fell quicker into the flow and blur of Goa than ever before. And as departure looms, I find myself falling into a fantasy for the miles to come. I can picture it or remember it in a way. Twisting, hot, noisy tarmac, winding through a country, like any other journey, like any other road. I'd say a traveller travels to see how it feels when they do. And I've walked my share of Indian miles before. In a lot of ways I know what to expect. It's a life that's separate and daunting and solitary in a way. And I'm very aware that I'm going to be living there for a while. I'll be living there until I've walked through it all. Or I walk to a point that feels enough. Which sounds like a nice place to be honest.